Over a year and a half ago, I made this video about how I make my Instagram story vlogs. They're basically daily vlogs about my day, and I make them, well, every day. And in that video, I showed you guys my process of how I do things, and basically from start to finish of how I create an IG story vlog. Now today, I want to talk about something different. Over the past 2 years, I've learned a lot of things about daily vlogging and about work in general. So today, I'm going to share with you guys 6 things I learned from daily vlogging for 2 years. So first of all, if you've never seen one of my Instagram daily vlogs, you can check them out. I assure you one is up on my Instagram stories right now. They're daily. So yeah, if you haven't seen one of my Instagram story vlogs, check it out so you know what we're talking about. And without further ado, let's get to number 1. So daily vlogs. So you have to make a video every day about your day. Now, one of the questions I get asked the most is, what if I don't have an interesting life? What am I gonna do for my daily vlog? There's nothing interesting about my life. You wanna make content, but you're thinking to yourself, I have a boring life. I live in a boring part of the world, in a boring town, and I don't do much. I mean, I'm just me. And honestly, it's easy to think that when you live your life day in and day out, you know exactly what your life is like, so you've come to expect the things that happen to you. But here's some paradoxical advice. Imagine your life from someone else's perspective. What would be interesting to them? Then bring yourself back into your shoes and share that vision with the world. That is the lens that you see your content in, and that is how you're gonna make great content. I've realized that even if my day isn't the most exciting, even to myself, I could take the parts that are the most exciting about my day and weave a story around that. And by doing that, I could convince others who are watching that my day was in fact exciting when I just took the parts that were exciting and created a story out of it. So even the most mundane days when you just go run errands at the grocery or buy something at the store could be crafted into something interesting. And that's where your storytelling and your creative vision comes in. So my tip is to pick a part of your day and craft your story around that. Focus on it and share your perspective, because that's why people watch your work, because they want to see your perspective. On to number 2. The second thing I've learned is that being organized is half the battle won. One of the things I find really interesting about creatives is that the creative process of every person is different. Even within the same discipline, say photography or videography, people can have varying ways of approaching things and doing what they do. And with that, I always like to make sure that I'm in the right headspace to create, and I've set everything properly so that I can keep on going and the flow of my work wouldn't be compromised. Being organized gives me the confidence to know that when I start working, I can minimize as much as possible the problems along the way, and I can keep on going with the flow of my work so that I don't get taken out of the zone. That includes looking for files or having files missing, and then you would have to go into your desktop or your hard drive and look for something when you could just be in Final Cut Pro or Premiere Pro and just keep on working. By being organized, that would lessen the chance of you misplacing something or the dreaded nightmare of actually deleting something. If you guys are interested in the way that I organize my files, from music to video clips to photos, then check out the video I made on how I edit my Instagram story vlogs. Everything is there from start to finish, from shooting to organizing, to exporting, to posting. So that kind of gives you an idea of how I do things. Although it has changed a little bit, but the concepts and ideas are still the same. Maybe I'll make an updated video soon if you guys want. Just let me know down in the comments below. The third thing I learned is that the technical aspects of creativity can be learned, but it is you that makes your work unique. People often send me their vlogs and their work, and I really enjoy watching the stuff that they make. And usually this comes with a request for some tips on how people can improve their work. And the number one piece of advice that I always give people is that they should connect to their audience. More often than not, in people's travel videos or vlogs, there's great camera work, great shots, everything is really cinematic, and it's beautiful. But a lot of people stop at that. Great work is great and all, but it's the unique work that distinguishes you from everyone else. Getting cinematic footage, drone shots, hyperlapses, time-lapses, and all those techniques can be learned and mastered. But what makes your work unique is yourself. So the one recommendation I give people the most is to put yourself in your work, especially if you're making vlogs. Don't be afraid to talk to the camera. Connect with your audience and give a face to the person making all the nice B-roll. By genuinely connecting to your audience, you're able to convey that 1, this is your work and you're taking ownership of it. And 2, Even if you're not in the most beautiful location or doing the most crazy things, people are watching your videos for you. And I know in the beginning it's really weird to talk to a camera, especially in public. People would stare at you or think you're weird or crazy, but it really does pay off. It makes a world of difference for your audience to actually know who you are. It allows you to be more interactive with your audience, and it allows your audience to see that you are a real person that they can relate to. And finally, doing so helps tell your story. Trips can be replicated, cool locations can be visited by other people, and your B-roll can be learned. But it's the way you experience, react, and your thoughts towards something that are yours and yours alone. The fourth thing I learned is tackling things in small steps makes anything possible. The editing process is more often than not something that is an uphill battle for most of us. I'll admit that at the start, editing was a struggle. And getting started is always the hardest thing to do because you're thinking about all the things that you gotta get done to be able to create something nice. And after vlogging every day for over 2 years, I've learned that taking things one step at a time makes everything more doable, especially the bigger and more daunting tasks. I've learned that the whole editing process can be broken down into smaller steps, and by doing those smaller steps, you're making your way to the finish line of eventually having something that you can be proud of. Alright, the fifth thing I've learned is more of a saying. It goes a little like this. You know exactly what would happen if you stopped, but you never know what would happen if you kept on going. This is something I tell myself on days where I'm not motivated to do anything and I just want to lie down in my bed and chill. I'm proud to say that I've been keeping up this daily vlog routine for over 2 years, but I have to admit, there are days and nights where you just get home and you just want to immediately crash on your bed and just wake up the next day. But for me, what keeps me going is knowing that I can bump up that number just by a little bit the next day. I know exactly what would happen if I gave up and stopped doing what I wanted to do. Nothing. Nothing would happen. I'd just be stagnant. But I have no idea what could happen if I kept on going. Like the kinds of things I'd learn, the people I'd meet, and the opportunities I would have are all unknown, but I'll never know them if I give up. Which is not to say that you should sacrifice everything and be stubborn about it. But rather, it's to say that if you're passionate about something, you gotta keep going no matter what difficulties you may face or how much you feel like you're going nowhere. Which leads me to the final thing I've learned. The final thing I've learned is that discipline comes before inspiration. Inspiration is great. I'm sure most of you know what it's like to be inspired, to feel that jolt of power, of energy just running through you, and it feels like you can do anything. No matter the setbacks, you can bounce back up and get through it. But as the creative life is, I'm sure you know what it's like to have a lack of inspiration. It sucks. You second guess everything that you do, and suddenly you don't have a burning passion for the things that you love to do. It's a weird feeling. I'm sure that we've all been there. I know I have. And what gets me through is the discipline I've instilled in myself because I know I have a goal. The goal is to make 1 video a day, and so I drag myself out of bed, I put myself out there, and I go do it. And by doing so, I put myself in a position to be inspired because inspiration can strike you at any time. But the thing is, you don't have control of when or where it'll strike you. So yeah, when you don't feel inspired, you have to have the discipline to put yourself in a position to be inspired. It could be as simple as going out there and documenting whatever you see. Or you could go watch a performance live or go hang out with some friends. Inspiration can strike you at any time. But inspiration can be fleeting if you're just gonna wait for it. So you gotta have the discipline to go out there and put yourself in a position to be inspired. So yeah, that's about it. Those are the 6 things I've learned from daily vlogging for over 2 years. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of video where I'm just sitting here and talking about my experiences and the things I have to share with you guys. If you've made it to the end of this video and you still haven't watched one of my Instagram story vlogs, or you just want to keep up with the vlogs that I keep on making, you can check the links down in the description for my Instagram account because that's where I post my daily Instagram stories. Instagram. Duh. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. It really means a lot. And thank you for following me on my journey of my Instagram stories every day. If you want more content like this related to photography, videography, and all around creativity, feel free to subscribe down below. And I also want to know your thoughts about anything I talked about in this video, so leave a comment down below and I'll talk to you guys there. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys on the Instagram stories.
I'm flying high, but I got a feeling I'm falling. everybody